Hey, what's up, boxing and fight fans? This is Eric from Jab Sports TV, and it looks like we may have ourselves a fight between Danny Swift Garcia versus Andre the Beast Berto, potentially on September 24th, 2016. Now, again, this fight isn't exactly confirmed just yet. This is news I got off of the Boxing News 24, so I'll leave a link in the description box below so you can go to that article and check it out for yourself. Now, if you remember, Danny Garcia was actually offered a fight with Manny Pacquiao for $4 million with a fight date of November 5th of 2016. Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, why in the heck would Danny Garcia turn down a fight with Manny Pacquiao to face Andre Berto instead? Now, in my opinion, I think the only reason, one of the biggest reasons at least, Danny Garcia turned down this fight with Manny Pacquiao is because the fight is set too far ahead. We're talking November 5th, and we're just now going into August. Now, if you remember, Danny Garcia's last fight was over 6 months ago when he fought Robert the Ghost Guerrero, in which he beat Robert the Ghost Guerrero to win the WBC title that was once held by Floyd Mayweather. Now, that's over 6 months ago, and an undefeated champion like Danny Garcia knows he needs to stay active and he has to stay in the ring on a regular basis to obtain his championship status, and if he wants to remain undefeated. And a fight that far ahead in November, I think is just too far ahead for him, and he knows he needs to stay active. So I think that's why he chose the number 2 WBC welterweight contender, Andre Berto. Now, you're probably still wondering, why would he choose Andre Berto of all fighters? I mean, let's look at Berto's record in his last 8 fights is 4-4. And in the 4 fights that he did win, he didn't look that good in. I mean, he had a flash knockdown against Victor Ortiz in his last fight where, Victor Ortiz hasn't been in the ring for almost 2 years or something like that. And he still dropped Andre Berto. Even though Andre Berto came back and won the fight, knocked him out, still, he got dropped against Ortiz. He fought Floyd Mayweather where he looked really tight in that fight and as if he didn't really want to throw any punches. And he actually started to get hurt towards the later rounds in that Floyd Mayweather fight as well. So you're probably wondering, why is he choosing Andre Berto? Well, let's look at what his competition is as far as currently in the welterweight division. You got Lamont Peterson, in which he already beat Lamont Peterson, and a fight with Lamont Peterson wouldn't really do anything for his stock right now. You got Frankie Gomez, you got Kell Brook, in which Kell Brook is unavailable because he's fighting Triple G here pretty soon. And I mean, in a fight that I know Triple G is going to absolutely annihilate Kell Brook. But that's besides the point. Kell Brook's unavailable. Amir Khan is not a potential fight because he's already defeated Amir Khan in dramatic fashion. And Amir Khan, I think, is still recovering from the Canelo knockout that he suffered, the early part of this year. And, also I think that, again, Danny Garcia wants someone that's going to increase his stock, someone that has a belt already, someone who's undefeated. And that's just not what Amir Khan brings to the table. And, I mentioned Manny Pacquiao already. I think the only reason why he's not fighting Manny Pacquiao is because the fight date Manny wants to fight at is too far ahead in November. And then you got Keith Thurman. That'd be a great fight. But Keith Thurman just came off of a fight earlier this month with Shawn Porter, in which he beat Shawn Porter. And I know the two have discussed they wanted to fight. Danny Garcia has made it very well known that he wants to unify the welterweight division and the titles. And he even threw a jab at Keith Thurman saying that, he's going to prove to Keith that he's no one-time champ. So, that fight definitely probably happen in the future, but not anytime this year. Then you got Shawn Porter. Again, Shawn Porter just fought Keith Thurman, in which he lost to him earlier this month. And, not only that, it's too soon, but again, Shawn Porter doesn't bring anything to the table, meaning he doesn't have a belt, he's not undefeated, and he wouldn't do much for Danny Garcia's stock. So Shawn Porter isn't a consideration right now. Then you got Tim Bradley. That'd be a decent fight, but I think Tim Bradley is still contemplating what he wants to do with his boxing career right now. I mean, I think he was really deflated when he lost to Manny Pacquiao in the manner that he did, especially after, his high hopes that he had after retaining the services of trainer Teddy Atlas. You know, he felt he was in some of the best shape of his life. He felt he had one of the best training camps of his life. And to still lose to Manny Pacquiao in that type of way, you know, I think it deflated his confidence quite a bit. So Tim Bradley is not a possibility right now. Errol Spence, that'd be a great fight. And I think Errol Spence would actually defeat Danny Garcia. But right now he's not ready. I know he has a fight coming up here pretty soon. But in the future, I know these two probably will more than likely cross paths. Let's see. Then you got Adrian Broner. That would be a great fight. I'm actually an Adrian Broner fan. I think he's talented. I just hate to see his talent go to waste because right now he's serving a 30-day jail sentence for missing a court date stemming from another, legal troubles that he had earlier this year. And, you know, no one's really just willing to put their money on him because he's just unpredictable and they don't know what he's going to do from one day to the next. I mean, he even had a fight set up possibly with Manny Pacquiao, in which supposedly he turned down the fight because the numbers weren't in his favor. So, you know, it's not going to be Adrian Broner. And then you got Floyd Mayweather. I know Danny Garcia would take that fight. Who wouldn't? Because the payday alone would be ridiculous. Not to mention, you know, the popularity of the fight and the status of the fight. But Floyd Mayweather is still in retirement. And I know he's probably going to come back. I mean, he has purchased the rights to the website TBE50. And if he doesn't come back this year, I think he'll come back in 2017 in May or something like that. So that doesn't leave anybody but really Andre Berto. And, you know, it'd be a decent fight. And let's look at the tail of the tape really quick. Berto, 5'6.5" inches tall. His reach is 68.5 inches. His record, 31 wins, 4 losses, 24 wins by way of KO. Then you got Danny Garcia, who is 5'8.5" inches tall. His reach is also 68.5 inches. His record is 32 wins, 0 losses, and 18 wins by way of knockout. Now, the way I see this fight possibly playing out is going to be Berto losing by decision. Now, the reason why I say this is I'm looking at the Berto when he fought Guerrero. He got his ass kicked. I mean, he got busted up pretty good, too. Garcia, when he fought Guerrero, it was an ugly fight, but he got him out of there. You know, some people thought he lost that fight. I don't know, you know, what fight they were watching, but I think Danny Garcia definitely won that fight. And I just kind of judge, you know, those performances and kind of base it off of how I think the Berto and Garcia fight would go. But I think Berto has a suspect chin and he's suspect to flash knockdowns. I mean, I seen that against when he fought Victor Ortiz, even though he won that fight. I just think he's suspect to getting knocked down. And, you know, if Garcia hits him with that wild left hook that he dropped Amir Khan with, I think Berto's going to be in some trouble. I don't think Garcia will knock out Berto, but I think he'll knock him down a couple times and he'll win on the cards. Because I don't think Berto can take punches that well. I just really don't. I don't think Garcia is a wild enough fighter like Robert Guerrero or Victor Ortiz to where he's pressuring him with these wild punches to the point where he'd get him out of there by way of knockout. But I think he will drop him, and later on in the fight, Berto always seems to lose his confidence and his focus when things aren't going his way in the fight. So I think that alone is going to determine how this fight is going to go, and he's going to lose on the cards. I don't think Berto has a chance to knock out Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia finds a way to win. He's durable, and I just don't think Berto would be able to beat him if these guys do in fact fight. Now, it looks like the undercard of this fight may be Jermell Charlo versus Julian J-Rock Williams, which that'll be a great undercard. I actually think J-Rock will beat Jermell Charlo. I just don't like how Jermell Charlo looked in his last fight. It looks just like he's susceptible to getting punched a lot more than usual. But that's what my prediction is. I hope this fight does go down on September 24th. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think, how the fight's going to go. If you think the fight's going to happen, who do you think Danny Garcia should fight instead of Andre Berto? Leave all those comments below. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and share it with other boxing fans. And if you like getting content like this and you like getting updates to the latest going on in the boxing and fight game, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.